You're getting screwed by MV Power, aren't you? There's your power bill. It's a corker. It's the smart meters, isn't it? Ever since they put a smart meter on my house, my power bill's doubled. Uncle Jim and Maureen went all the way to Florida and they turned everything off in their house and their bill tripled. There is no stinking way I used that much power last month. Well, complaining on the internet isn't going to fix anything. But guess what? You've got solutions. Third-party electrical monitoring at your panel, behind the meter. MV Power's not involved in this. Want to fact check them? Want to make sure that you're not using the power that they said they're using? With this baby, we're going to clamp onto the mains in your panel, and we're going to drill down to every little circuit, and we're going to find out where your money's going, and if those stupid smart meters are correct. So hold on tight. We're going to do a quick install on one of these babies. So this is the Emporia VU 3 Smart Home Energy Monitor. Well, what the heck's that mean? It does all this stuff, but the one we're interested in is real-time power monitoring. We're going to get into the electrical panel and we're going to hook these things called CTs, which are current transformers, to different circuits on our electrical panel, which feed different loads, which drain our wallet from different locations. These top ones are going to give us the overall what's coming through from the grid. And it comes with an awesome little app, and it'll tell us what power is going where. What's in the box? All kinds of fun stuff. That is what we're looking for. This is the brains of the operation. It has Wi-Fi, we have to power it up, and then we've got all these ports that we can put all our different circuits in, up to 16. Whether you buy the base model or the 16 circuit model, they're all the same. You can add as many as you want. This is an 8-port model, but if we wanted to add more, we can do that. There's the 2 main CTs, which are going to go on the mains. And it comes with this awesome box in the middle of them that has nothing in it. Got a couple morettes, a couple jumper cables for 15 amp circuit, and the main wiring harness, plus the Wi-Fi antenna. This model comes with 8 circuits. So we can do 8 different CTs on our meter. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your cover off your electrical panel. If this scares you, call a professional. Okay, cue the warnings. This is your electrical panel. These 2 wires up here, this red and the black, and this neutral line, are coming from the grid, and they cannot be shut off by turning this big breaker off. So the danger with this is these babies are always live, unless your power's out. If you turn your main breaker off, all this stuff is dead, and that is recommended for this install, because you don't want to be playing around in here and accidentally touch something that you shouldn't and end up dead. So if you're not comfortable with electronics or electricity, this is not your forte. Get someone to do it, and we offer this to people. So that great big power bill that I told you about, it's all coming through this meter or through this panel. Outside of this is where your smart meter is connected to. So you've got the power grid comes in through your electrical meter, and then it comes down into here. And we're gonna measure the power that's coming and going from your house with these 2 lines here. And then we're gonna drill down. All these breakers here are doing different things. These ones are bedrooms. This one might be a furnace. This one might be a hot tub. This one might be a water heater. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for the big players here, and I want to clamp them. I'm going to capture everything, but I've got 8 extra circuits on this energy monitor that I can monitor where the money's going on these devices. And a pro tip, if you run your finger along them and you feel a warm one, it's probably a good one to clamp, because if they're making heat, they're probably running electricity through them. So all these different slots represent different breakers, and I'm looking at, say, a washer and a dryer. I'm looking at, master bedroom outlets. I'm looking at, water pump. There's the water heater and stuff like that. So that's what you're looking for on your electrical panel to clamp. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so the first thing we have is the actual module that goes into your panel, and I usually leave them just down here sitting in the spot. There's usually a little spot at the bottom that you can use. It's going to come with a Wi-Fi antenna that would go on the outside of your electrical panel. There's a dirty little knockout right here. Stand by, we're gonna knock that baby out. So all I've done is I just give it a little pop from the bottom. That comes out. Then we're gonna shove this guy up. Remember, your electrical panel's off. And that's just gonna sit right in there. So now I'm gonna connect that antenna to this guy right here. And see it has a little wireless sign. You can hardwire it if you wanna run Cat 5 into here, but I hardly ever run into that, so there we go, we got a Wi-Fi antenna hooked up. The next thing we have is this little harness. There's gonna be 4 wires on here labeled to where they're gonna be going. At the opposite end, you have this connector that's gonna plug into your Emporium hub unit, like this. So these cables, they have to power this unit. So we're gonna pick up some power from one of these outlets, and the other ones are gonna be, one's gonna go to the neutral, and two each phase of your 120s on here on either side, and the other one's gonna go to the neutral bus bar. So I've got my wire fished in behind here, and this is where you wanna be careful. Your mains are off, right? Remember that, folks. Your main switch is off, because you get poking your little fingers in around here, and you touch that bus bar, and then, you know, bridge her to ground or to the neutral or whatever, especially if you just get out of the shower, you're getting zinged. You're gonna get woken up and you're gonna taste nickels. So don't mean to scare you, just a warning. So I've got these two that are gonna go into the neutral. So on a 200 amp split phase panel like this, these two are gonna go to the neutral bus bar, which is this guy, not to be confused with the ground, which is over here. And then these two, we're gonna pick up each phase of the 120. So we're gonna grab one off this bus bar and that bus bar, and I'll show you how we're gonna do that in a minute. Okay, our white's going to that bus bar right there. We're gonna squeeze that in there. They come, you just pull the ends off, and then they can, you don't need just wire stripper, they come pre-stripped for you. So now put the blue one on there. Our blue's now installed and snug. Now we've got the 2 phases that we've got to hook up to alternate sides of the panel. So we've got basically the red and the black, which are going to go like that. So the way that the electrical panels are typically configured is every other breaker will give you a different phase. So you see how we got this little S thing going in the background? There's little fingers in here. The breakers click into those fingers. So what I'm looking for is 2 15 amp, which is important. They're 15 amp beside each other in here, because that one's going to be on one side and the other one is going to be grabbing from this side to give us both phases. So I actually snuck my wires up the right side in behind all of these circuits to keep it cleaner. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook into there and here, and I'm going to show you how Emporia likes to see that done. So it ships with these 2 pre-stripped jumper wires that allow you to daisy chain into those 2 circuits right there in order to capture information from those 2 phases. And it's important that you use a 15 amp circuit, because these are only rated for 15 amp. That's why I'm not doing it on a 20 or something like that. So I'm going to take these 2 guys and I'm going to shut them off, and I'm going to pull these 2 wires out, remembering where each one goes, and I'm going to daisy chain into that. So I've unhooked the wire that's going into that circuit, and this is the one that's going to the Emporium. Now I've grabbed my jumper wire, and I'm going to jumper him into the back side of this. Now I have 3 wires. The jumper wire coming out of my circuit breaker, one going to the Emporia, and one going to my load. Now we're going to take our supplied Moret, and we're going to connect all 3 of those wires together and screw that on tight, and then we're going to wrap it in black tape. So now you've got your jumper coming out of here, and it's connecting everything in here. I haven't put the black tape on yet, but we will. So now I've done the same thing with the second breaker down, which gives me the other phase of my 240, and I've got them both hooked up there. So now I'm going to take this plug at the bottom and plug in the Emporia. Now we're not done yet, but we should be able to if we wanted to test it, we could turn the power back on, and we should get some lights on here. So turn those 2 breakers back on, and then your main, and then you should get some lights down here. And if that works, then we know we've done our job right, and then we're gonna shut everything off, and we're gonna start hooking up the CTs. So I see a couple lights flashing there, so that's good news. So I'm gonna turn them off, and we'll go from there. In the box, you're gonna see some big CTs. which are little clamps, and then we're going to see some smaller ones. The big ones, notice there's only two, they're going to clamp onto the two phases right here, and they're going to monitor the electricity coming and going from the grid. Now keep in mind, everything above here, when this is off, is still live. Switch that all you want, it only switches everything below it. This stuff's live. As long as the grid is on, this stuff's got juice, and it can kill you. So these current transformers have a little clasp on them, and you can open them up. And what you're going to do is you're going to clamp the wire, and then we're going to run this all the way down to the Emporia. Keep in mind, on these CTs, which means current transformer, there is a arrow that points towards the breaker. Very important. If you get them mixed up, you're going to have weird readings. So I've got one installed. I'm just going to throw the second one on here right now and click it. Keep in mind, they're live. Breaker pointing this way. Now, I've got these two pigtails coming down here, and they've got to get plugged into here. I'm going to try to do a nice job. So I've got the two CTs installed, and I ran them in behind all these circuit wires here, so they're not flapping around and getting jammed up in the switches. And I've got them down at the bottom, and now I'm going to plug them into this side of the Emporia unit, A and B. It does not matter which one goes into A and which one goes into B. So in this case, I have 8 of these small current transformers, and they're good for up to 50 amps. So what I want to do is I want to find the different loads in the house that are going to be, corkers. So hot tub, water heater, heat pumps, electric baseboard, electric car, sub panel, maybe that's going up to the garage. I'm looking for all those big loads. This is going to capture everything. So that's going to hold MB Power accountable to what their smart meter's reading. It's going to bring it in and out. But on the app, the more of these single circuits that you connect to and monitor with the small CTs, it gives you better resolution to see where your money's actually going. So we hook these up very much the same way, breaker pointing that way. If you have something to say like a water heater, you can get away with using one of these, and then what you do is in the app, you put a multiplier of 2 on it. So in this case, we're gonna click that onto one of the two, and that tandem breaker right there. And then we're gonna plug this guy into one of the places on here. So we'll say number 1. And then in the app, when we're setting it up, you put in water heater, multiplier of 2, because it'll take that one, double it with this, assuming that those loads are balanced, which on a water heater they typically are. And then it will have that one monitored separately. And it will do the math between what's coming in on the mains and this. If you have solar coming into your panel, you can clamp another CT on the solar, and then in the app when you're installing it, it'll ask you if that's a generator of some type. So it would be a solar generation. So then you could take this guy, once again, clamp it, and then run this guy down into number 2, and that can be your generator. Number 3 could be your hot pump. Number 4 could be your EV. Number 5 could be a heat pump. Number 6 could be another heat pump. So you've got 16 circuits there. In my experience, we're usually okay with the 8. This is an 8-port model, and it just comes with 8 CTs. So if you wanted to add more later, you can buy these individually. What's going to happen is it's going to get really busy in here, and you're going to end up tucking those in behind and running your wires in behind here, and then you want to get your panel door on later. Some of them can look like a dog's breakfast. This one's got lots of room in it. And then, so when at this stage, what you'll do is you'll jump on your Emporia app, and you'll install the app, and you'll connect to this through Bluetooth, and then you'll hand it off to your Wi-Fi. So you're gonna have to give this your Wi-Fi password. Okay, so when you get to this stage and you power this unit up, you can connect to it with Bluetooth. So on your Bluetooth, on your phone, you're gonna connect to it, and it's gonna ask you to install the app. And you're going to install the app, and then you're going to open the app, hand it off to your Wi-Fi unit. So it's going to ask you for your Wi-Fi password. Then this will be connected to your Wi-Fi, and then you can continue your installation with the app. And each one of these circuits that you plug in it's going to ask you, what is that? Is it solar? Is it a hot tub? And you can label each one. And there's also labels that come in the box, I believe, or that might have, but you'll label each one of these. And then when it's all done, you put your cover back on, and you've got all that monitoring that you can watch in real time on your phone, remotely. When you're not home, you can set up alerts. You can see how much it's costing you by the minute, by the day. You can turn a light on and off, and I'll show you that in the app right now. So now you can open up the app on your phone and you can see how much money it's costing you per hour and how much is running right now by the dollar per hour. And if you want, you can change it to watts instead. And this customer at this exact time is using 9,000 watts. That's a lot. Then you can go and turn off a light or turn off a heater, and you can see it'll go way down or it'll spike way up depending on what you're running. Then you can check it by the live, by the minute, by the hour, and by the day. Let's see how much this customer has burned today. If we put it in currency, apply. So far today he's burned $16 and it's not even 5 o'clock. By the week, $87. By the month, $383. And then you can see how much has been burned even by the year if you'd like. So live view is awesome. And then you can actually go into their devices and have a look and see what people or what you are, depending on what you've clamped. So this person has a hot tub, water heater, lights, blah, blah, blah. And you can look in the last month, what's cost him the most, hot tub. And the reason is, it's usually heat and hot water. Heat is done by a wood boiler. There it is. The wood boiler only costs $1 to run in the last month. So we've clamped that wood boiler circuit. Second is water heater, $26 in the last month. So far today, the winner is the hot tub. In second place, hot water, heat recovery ventilator, fridge. So we've clamped quite a few things on here. And as you can see, like your washer and dryer, let's look in the month. They don't use a huge amount, depending on how much you use it, I suppose. But dishwasher, washer, I guess the dryer's up there at $6 for the last month. So you get to see all this stuff. Here's a customer who spent $106 charging their Tesla over the last month. You can log in and see how much it costs them per hour, per day, when they charge it. Now we're looking at a water heater. So this morning at 9 o'clock, somebody had a shower and it cost 10 cents. But then later on, somebody had a shower at 11 o'clock. It looks like it was quite a long one. It cost 41 cents. So there's a 12-cent one. And it could be just water running or something as well, but it's usually a shower or a bath or something. So depending on what you clamp, and then these are the total usage is going to be your entire, your mains. It can tell you exactly how much power you've used in the last hour, minute, day, week, month, and where it's going. And it's usually, your money's usually going out the window or down the drain. So why should you buy an energy monitor? It's going to show you where every cent goes, and it's going to make sure that the smart meters aren't screwing you over. And it's going to teach you what a kilowatt hour is, the value of a kilowatt hour, and where it's going, and why your bills are high and why they're not high. And I think this is really important for New Brunswickers, especially when we have time of use, because your power could get a lot more expensive or it could get a lot cheaper, depending on how you accept to understand it, because we're going to have different prices during different times of the day for kilowatt hours. So I think the more you understand, the better off we'll be, and we'll figure out where our money's going and what we can do about it. So before I even spec a solar system, I always want people to completely understand where their money is going. Now, if I see a big power bill come in, it's like, man, I want to put an energy monitor in your house first, because I'm always on the defense before I'm going on the offense. The defense being conservation, the offense being, let's put some solar in to offset that remainder of your bill that you've got, because it's always cheaper to conserve than it is to go on the offense. But I will come and help you when you're ready. So energy monitors are a great way to do this, to understand. And I know everyone's ticked off because they have huge power bills. Our power bills have gone up 30% since 2024. It's not just a 10% increase every year, a 13% increase. It's compounded on top of it. So anyway, an energy monitor is an excellent way to do that. If you want to install them yourself, awesome. I'd give you a little info here. If you want someone to come and install it for you, I have a form you can fill out and I'll have someone come and install them for you. If you use the Amazon link that I've provided, they actually give me a little kickback. It's an affiliate link. So if you buy through that link, I'll get a little treat for helping move the products that I truly believe in. So I think that out of anything that you can do in your home, an energy monitor is probably one of the things that's going to pay for itself the fastest, just in the knowledge and its ability to show you where your money's going, and then you can do things to mitigate it. Thanks for watching. If you like this, East Coast Sun, follow me along. I've got YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. I live off grid out here in New Brunswick, and I have solutions to people's problems. In my day-to-day life, I do solar. I install solar residential and commercial, and I have a bunch of partners that I work with. I do their designs and site visits, and I try to come up with a solution that best fits each situation. I pretend that I own your house and what I would do there. So if that's something you're interested in and you've gotten your power bill down, because that's key, conservation first, and you're interested in an estimate for solar, you can go to East Coast Sun, follow me on one of these platforms. I design the systems and send them back to you, and you speak with me about your solution to the problem of a big power bill. So with solar, you can isolate yourself from power bills. And anyway, one thing I wanted to talk about was energy monitors. People wanted me to make a video about how to install one, and I hope that everybody does it. I hope that we get them subsidized. I think it's an excellent tool. Knowledge is key. The energy literacy in the Maritimes is not the best. This is one way to help. Anyway, so thanks for following along. If you're interested in a monitor, one of my partners installs them with me, and if you're interested in just buying one yourself, there's a link in the description that you can click, and thanks for watching.